Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you are at. Hopefully everybody's doing great today. And today we got another insightful, creative content to help you so that you can create and master and be the domain and create your own reality. All right. So as you see, the title stated today in today's lesson or video is "You will never manifest what you want." Now that's very important. Okay. Now, what does Mark mean by "you will never manifest what you want"? I thought what I want is what I can manifest. I thought what I want is what the universe will see and bring. Okay? So in order to get there, we have to go back. So let's talk about the human brain. In order for you to create and manifest the reality that you desire, we have to shift to a radical new way of thinking or processing our thoughts. See guys, how it works is this way. The human brain is a very remarkable machinery specimen. It's capable of processing such infinite information, the subconscious part of the brain that is, and it's very capable of detecting and sensing so many different dimensions and senses of our reality. But because of the brain's own intelligence, creates its own demise in a conscious level, that is. All right. So how does it work? First of all, it's how our brains are wired. Number one is our conscious mind is a part of our mind we interact with primarily. At least we think we do. You know, your conscious mind, you predict and you see your reality. You see it through specifically your senses, very limited senses: smelling, touching, hearing, tasting, smelling. All right. That part of our brain we use to interact and we see our physical or perceived physical reality. All right. Now, in order to shift, we have to change to a new radical way to think, because here's how it works. The fact is, our brain, the conscious part of our brain, was primarily derived for surviving. That's what our senses are. Seeing, so that we can see, watch for danger, we can protect ourselves. Hearing, so we can hear, perceive danger. Taste, so that we don't eat anything toxic that could kill us. Okay? All these senses are derived for our protection and our survival. This is how your ego developed. So this is a condition that was programmed or learned. So your conscious mind, guys, is not directed or created to really see and manifest a reality. It's incapable of seeing beyond the perceived physical field. It cannot see in a quantum realm. It cannot detect quantum fluctuations. It cannot see how the spiritual, the non-physical, creates and manifests into a perceived physical. Okay? When things happen, when things manifest and they come into a perceived physical, your brain is incapable of understanding the complexity of it. So it says, "Oh, that's a miracle. That's so lucky. What a great chance." See? The ego has a limited capacity. So in order to change, okay, we have to change our shifting of our thoughts. That's very important. So what does it tie into with "you will never manifest what you want"? Well, it goes to our thinking, okay? Without thought, nothing is possible. But always remember that. Thought precedes everything we see and create, okay? So without thought, nothing is possible. So our brain resides on our thinking capability to process and see our reality. You, all of us, were conditioned to think a certain way, a certain dimension, a survival dimension, okay? So our minds are always thinking about things or desires, so to speak, that we may want or we need it, okay? Here's where we trip ourselves up now, because within the last 100 years or so, we've discovered a scientific theory now, which is more beyond a theory now. It's called quantum physics, and it shows us how reality works on a molecular scale, okay? And everything proceeds with our thinking and our thought. So let me just give you a brief history, quick history of how everything works when it comes to creating and manifesting, and your brain, how it interacts with this, okay? So everything that you see right now around you, okay, all your perceived physical reality, it's a matter. It's known as matter, okay? Matter, or let's call it a dense form of energy. Physical matter is more of a dense form of energy. That's why it looks so real to your eyes and to your senses, okay? Here's a key point. Our senses lie to us primarily a lot. Our senses are so inaccurate, okay, that we have to create instruments to go beyond them. This is how we're able to detect these fluctuations. This is how we're able to see how reality is created, because we use other instruments that use mathematical formulas that can detect. You know, we have the electron microscope, we have infrared visions, we have electroscopes, we have all types of instrument that we create, you know, to see and to detect our reality and our space around us. All right, these instruments detect things beyond our normal brainwave pattern, our normal conscious thinking. Okay, so here's what we discovered. When it comes to reality, okay, or anything you desire, it's there in a dense form of energy. You and I were all part of that energy. Okay, we can manipulate it. It's malleable. So what your brain or the limited part of your mind is seeing is just a perception created through that energy field, through that vibrational field of energy. Okay, a dense form of matter. Okay, so that's what your mind, that's what your brain sees. Your conscious mind sees that. It only sees a tiny percent, maybe about 4% of what real reality. Your subconscious mind, on the other hand, can detect all that infinite field. It can see everything. It can see beyond what we call space and time. It creates and manifests to your desires. All right. So because now we know quantum physics, we know that we are all created from the same matter: particles, atoms, protons, electrons, neutrons. So everything is intertwined. So you really don't want anything. Okay, everything that you want, so to speak, is already here. It's already yours. That's what we have to keep in mind. So the universe works in a precise order. Okay, this is the order the universe works. I cannot produce, or you cannot manifest something that's already yours. Okay, so if you want something now, you will be sending out a counter intentional energy pattern of lack. This is why you will never manifest what you want, because to your brain's conception of it, you're actually repelling it. Okay, consciously. Okay, you're thinking you want it. Subconsciously, you are repelling it. Because why? It's how the universe works. Energy, guys. Okay, electromagnetic spectrum frequencies, energy. So if you have the notion and the thought of I want, it's a signal to your subconscious mind, okay, that you don't have it. Remember, physics shows us that it's already here. So this is where it comes in now, the radical new way of thinking. Okay, remember, without thought, nothing processes. Thought is a perception of our reality. Okay, so what do? Instead of wanting something, you now must accept it as already yours, or you're reaching out for more of it. See how that changes drastically? That simple tip right there. Shift your perspective to manifesting. Instead of wanting, I accept that it's already here and I'm reaching out for more of it. So you don't send that frequency of want or lack. Okay, that's very important. Okay, instead of wanting, now we change our perception and how we think. Let's start saying, instead of wanting, you desire. Okay, when I desire something, it's saying that, hey, I can have it, I can have more of it. Okay, it's there. It's a different frequency wave than saying I want. Okay, so that's the key component, guys. So when you're manifesting, okay, you do not see things as in a state of need or want. I know this is tough because it's our brains are wired. You were conditioned to think in a different way. You're conditioned to think, well, I need it, I want it. It tends to be subconsciously programmed, and that's the trick. That's the trouble right there, because your subconscious mind is used to that. It's used to that. That's how you were brought up. That's how you were growing up. Want, need. You need this, you need that. But now that you learn how things work on a quantum scale and our reality comes into our existence, you know, need no more want, no more need or want. It's now you must accept it, that it's already yours, and I've been reaching out for more of it, or I desire that, desire more of it, you know. These things you have to start to change your radical way of thinking. I can have that, I can have more of this, okay? This is already mine. These type of thought statements will shift to a radical new way to think. Your subconscious mind will process it now, and it will start to vibrate for you to meet that frequency. All right, so let me show you how the conscious mind, okay, processes manifestation versus the subconscious mind, and this is going to explain to you why it takes a little bit of, why you see time delays. So, okay, so remember, we see our reality with our primary conceptual conscious mind, okay, with the sight, hear, touch. Remember now, they can mislead us. Okay, reality is really created, it's already created in the non-physical, okay, or spiritual part. Here's a key component. Did you know that 99% of the creation process of your manifestation has already been completed before you see any physical evidence of it? Let me explain to you how it works. Okay, in a quantum scale with the subconscious mind, everything that ever desire, whatever you want, whatever you think you need, okay, it's already existed, it's already here now, but it's in what we call the non-material form, or perceived non-material form. That is the quantum or the dense energy form. But the fact is, it's already created. I'm giving a little even more in detail about how it works. Not only is it created, it's already manifested for you. Okay? It's already manifested because the minute you think of a thought or you start to visualize what you desire and you focus with belief and certainty, you create it. It's already created in what we call the quantum or non-physical form, the spiritual form. Your subconscious mind, your higher self knows it's there. The only issue you have is the intellect brain, the conscious mind. It cannot process that it's there. So why can't my conscious mind process what is there? Why it's there? Because it's limited. It's wired in a limited capacity. It cannot process all the infinite information. So what happens? It takes our conscious mind time to line up to match that frequency that's already been created and process or calibrate that frequency. Eliminate the things that it can't see or can't see. And it processes what? When you experience it. Seeing it, touching it, feeling it, tasting it, whatever it is. But here's the big tip. It's already been created. It was there already. You just couldn't see it. You just couldn't process it. I'll put it similar to you. You know, let's say you're out at night. Okay, there's no light around. Our eyes work in the visible light spectrum. But there's also different forms of light in the electromagnetic spectrum field, such as infrared, okay, or night vision. So if you're out at night and you're looking around, you can't see anything. Let's say there's a person there. He's there, but you can't see him because your eyes aren't adapted to that frequency. But you put on infrared night vision, boom, there it is. You see the heat signature. That person is there. My question to you now: that person has always been there, right? The person's always been there, right? But you just couldn't see him or you couldn't detect it. Okay? That's the same thing when it comes to the conscious mind and the subconscious mind and your desires. Your desires are already there. They've been created for you, but your common brain or the conscious brain could not detect it yet. So this is why a lot of you individuals give up, because your conscious mind can't see it, but it's always been there. So the question is, okay, Mark, if it's always been there, why don't I get to experience it? Well, I just explained to you why. Because number one, it takes your brain time to adapt, to calibrate, to match that frequency, to bring it in. Also, here's the biggest reason you don't experience it: because you create resistance. You create an opposite energy flow and you push it away due to the ego's mind of doubting, worrying, okay, fearing, and accepting that it's not going to happen. See that? So it's all there for you already. So that's very deep. That's a very key point for you to understand how the brain works in relation to reality. So from now on, you must accept, even if you don't see it, guys, this is how it works. Quantum physics states that, energy dynamics state that reality and everything we see is malleable. It exists in these frequency forms, okay? And everything that you want, need, already here right now. It's already yours. So the universe cannot give you or manifest for you what's already yours. So what will it do? It has to give you what you've been putting out, which is the signal of need. Want is a lack. That's due to your thinking, our thinking. See that? That's the radical new way we have to shift our minds and think, okay? So now you learn a very important tip here on how reality works when it comes, and we have the science to back it up. Also, we have instruments, infrared, all these different instruments we see. As a matter of fact, certain animals can see in different light forms as we. You know, if you're there, let's say you're there with a snake. Snake can see that person because they see in infrared. You and I, we cannot, but doesn't mean they're not there. Just a quick tip on how perception and how our brains and our eyes and our senses can fool us, because everything exists all around us. All right, great. So you guys have those tips. So remember, in order to create, make up your mind what you desire, and we're going to visualize it. All right? Keep in mind, guys, now you can learn more. Just go to www.markahoughton.com and enroll in the free courses I have online. They'll show you how your brain works, how reality works, and you will learn to shift to this new radical way of thinking. This new radical way of thinking is going to create and manifest your reality. All right, guys? Thank you so much, and tune in again. I'll have more insightful content.